Hey Harvest, it's that time of year again. People are making their Christmas lists and doing some shopping, and they also make their year-end book lists, and that's something that I've enjoyed sharing with you as well, some of my favorite books from over the last year. So I wanted to share with you 6 books that I really enjoyed in 2024. The first one I want to share with you is The Cross He Bore, Meditations on the Sufferings of the Redeemer, looking at the last week of Jesus' life. Short book, very devotional, easy to read chapters, and deeply moving as the author looks at Jesus' sufferings for his people. Well worth your read. Secondly, A Severe Mercy, a story of faith, tragedy, and triumph. This is a love story in two senses of the word. It's a wonderful story of a man and a woman who fall in love, but it's also a wonderful story of God's grace towards sinners, and an interesting apologetic as well, as these two people whose lives intersected with C.S. Lewis's wrestle with questions of faith. So well worth your time. Also, Like It, which I read this year, was Surprised by Oxford, also very good. Next, I've got this book. It's one in biblical studies. It's Teaching the Psalms, Volume 1, From Text to Message. Not a very exciting title, but it's by Christopher Ash. It's a part of a 2-volume set that looks at how to read the Psalms in view of Jesus. And the second volume looks at each of the Psalms. That way, this lays out how do we read the Psalms as more than just ancient poetry? How do we see how they point toward Christ? And this will open your eyes to reading the Psalms in a new way. It's sort of a more introductory version to the 4 volumes that Ash recently published on the Psalms this year. This next book is a little different. It's not the best written book of the year, but it is one that I think meets a need. And this book is called Transformative Friendships, 7 Questions to Ask Any Relationship. And I've been reading through this book with a friend, and the author, who's a biblical counselor, gives 7 different areas where we can ask questions in our relationships, and then gives 5 questions of increasing depth for each of those areas. And so great questions for you to be able to ask with someone. Next, I've got Things Unseen by J. Gresham Machen, one of the founding members of the OPC. I've actually been plugging away at this for the last 4 or 5 years, but this is like a reform version of Mere Christianity. It's his radio talks where he basically gives an introduction to the Reformed faith. Machen is a model of theological clarity, and would be a great introductory theological resource if you're looking to pick something up. And then last, I've got the book that elicited the most comments in my pastor's post this year. It's The Pacific Crucible, and it's the first of a trilogy by Ian Toll that looks at the U.S. fighting in the Pacific Theater in World War II. And it's a book of history that is written like a novel. He does a great job of zooming out, looking at big themes, but then also looking at individual battles in a way that's just riveting. And so I'm looking forward to reading volumes 2 and 3. So those are my top books from this year. And as always, I love to hear from you. What have you read that you've greatly enjoyed? So please feel free to send me an email and share with me what's been encouraging to you. Hey Harvest, I'm here with my production assistants, and they wanted to share one bonus reading recommendation for you.
Hi, my name's Lucy Veenstra, and I just hope you enjoyed this book recommendation, Harvest. So my book recommendation is Frog and Toad, the Storybook Treasury. It has 4 volumes and 20 stories, and it would just be a great bedtime story for your kids, or just a quick story before you need to go somewhere or do something. So I really hope you just enjoy this book, and have a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cut! Merry Christmas, cut!